Want to get to it. I mean, the president said, that he doesn't have to go out there and sell it because this tax cut is going to sell itself. How does that comport with Nancy Pelosi saying it's Frankenstein and going to scare people?
Isn't that insane? I mean, I think of the Democrats and their message for next year being, I stopped you, the American people, from receiving money and having paycheck increases. And President Trump is right. I mean, he's standing strong on this economy. He understands that this tax cut, it's historic. It is going to benefit American families and individuals, and the benefits are going to be felt right away. We are already seeing companies investing in our country. We are seeing companies giving bonuses out before Christmas. President Trump made this commitment. I mean, you have to understand, in Washington, it's about Washington slow speed. When President Trump is here, it's about Trump speed. That means getting things done quickly, a result-driven president, someone who is sticking to his promises in a way that we have not seen in a very long time. And I think that for the American people, when you start seeing continued economic growth, job opportunity, and the president's willingness and ability to say we are going to invest in our most important resource, which is that of the American people, that is such a strong message that I think that the American people will absolutely embrace.
Well, and speaking of messaging, Mercedes, part of this is getting the word out to voters and to Americans. 80% of Americans will get a tax cut, even according to liberal think tanks. But despite that, the Wall Street Journal had a poll showing that only 17% of Americans believe that they're going to get a tax cut. So what is the White House going to do? What is your plan to change that number?
Well, President Trump, obviously, and his team will continue to be talking about the benefits of tax cuts. I mean, we have seen, for example, his daughter Ivanka Trump on the road, as well as several cabinet members going out there and talking about doubling the child tax credits, the expansion of the 529 nines for college plans. You start seeing these benefits of these tax cuts, and come February, there will be an immediate impact. You're going to see the majority of Americans receiving paycheck increases. When you start seeing more of these companies investing in our local communities and hiring people, I mean, it is critical that that is in itself, I think, is going to be incredibly helpful. And President Trump will continue talking about the successes of tax cuts and how this impacts American families. They're going to see tangible results, and that is something that is called delivering on his promise, and that's what the president has done even before Christmas.
Mercedes, briefly, not a single Democrat voted for the bill. They've been committed to resisting him. If they had the House of Representatives, they'd probably try to impeach him. Yet he alluded to possibly still wanting to work with them on something like infrastructure. What does 2018 look like with Democrats?
Well, clearly, infrastructure is going to be one of the priorities for our administration and for Congress. As we know, President Trump is a builder-in-chief. He understands that in order to keep this economy growing, it's not only about cutting the red tape and deregulation, cutting taxes, but also investing in our roads and bridges, investing in the American people. And so the focus will be, how do you incentivize these state and local governments? How do we make sure that we have faster projects being done under schedule or on schedule, under budget? I think those are going to be critical components there in terms of working with both parties. I mean, it's a very popular issue amongst Americans. It's something that helps improve their quality of life. And I think that it would be for an advantage for both parties to come together and push forward on infrastructure.